Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. Now, we had Deku, and we also had the clones. Now, Deku met the female clone of himself. He met a male clone of himself. He learned about an insane clone, and he also learned about a more spider-like clone. That's 4 in total. Now, Izuku, he was made aware of the fact that Dr. Octavius cloned him and is currently trying to get a new body to put his consciousness inside of. So, that is a problem currently. Now, Deku, he is a bit unnerved by all this because there's a few things going through his own mind. And currently this morning, Deku does gotta wake up. Him walking out of his room and going to the bathroom. As Ren doesn't actually ground to the door, he goes to turn the knob and go to open it. As someone, they do go to currently turn and shoot out a spiderweb from their own wrist. As Deku, the door stopped. Him trying to push it as he goes to hear their voice. Occupied. Him going to pull the door closed. Sorry, Julia. Ugh. Him going to turn and walk into the kitchen. Him smelling fresh coffee. As Ben to sit there with another Spider-Man. Huh. Hey, Izuku. Yeah. A lot's been happening this morning, and, this is Tarantula. Him bringing his hand up, and actually going to pull up the rest of his mask. Deku's seeing... Huh. That is not what I expected. Sorry. No, it's fine, I'm just... Yeah, by the way, we're out of creamer and there's bad news. Worse than the creamer? Yep. Get a pot of coffee and sit down and listen, or... Yeah, I'll have to give you a rain check on that. They're good in turn. And Jessica. Julia does gonna actually open the door. Her talking about it, gonna step out. Alright, so the doorknob is broken. They're out of creamer, and so far, there's bad news. So what she's going to do is head out, buy a few things, and then come back. However, her going to actually walk past Deku, talking about it. She'll take some of Mom's clothes for right now since the other ones in their closet aren't anywhere near her size. So, she'll be back in 5 minutes, and they can all talk. Now, Deku does actually turn around and walk to the bathroom, and Julia does head to the store. As Reno, Ben, and Tarantula do somewhat sit there. As Tarantula, he does still eat a donut, him with 2 other in his other hands. Now, Deku, he heads to the bathroom, makes a cup of coffee, and then Julia does eventually arrive back. And after she does get sat down, Ben starts to talk. It's a lot to explain, but here's the basis of it all. Kaine is a clone, and he's dying. Worse than they are. Deku's somewhat surprised, as Ben talks about it. He is unstable. Tarantula, he believes that he might be more stable than him, but then there's also Julia. He knows that she's stable, but the rest of them are faulty. I mean, the cloning process wasn't perfect. There were bumps in it, and Kaine is dying faster than they are. So, you're saying that, yeah. I have a few ideas as to how to take him down, but there's also the problem about what he's doing and what he's planning. He broke into that lab and stole stuff. And we all kind of know what that research does mean. Yeah, but he's trying to find a way to save himself, right? Izuku. Okay. We're all the same person. We're all you. However, at some point, we broke off from you. Our memories, the way we think, all of it. I remember more of the action side, more Spider-Man side, the seriousness of it all. I'm pretty sure Julia remembers more of the Midoriya side, right? I do remember a lot. It's also still a bit weird to get used to, especially now that I have a lot of things to think about. Okay, and Tarantula, I remember a lot. A bit of both, I guess. Hmm. Okay, so we all remember Spider-Man, obviously. We all remember our own life, and yeah, Izuku, Himiko Toga has been dug up. I'm sorry, what? I went to her grave this morning. I found the casket and samples of her were taken. Deku, he's a lot more alarmed by that. Toga was unburied. Her grave was defiled, and that just makes him mad. And Ben is gonna see the look on Deku's face. Shock, then anger. And Ben, he does at least try to tell Deku about what they're gonna be doing. The best way he knows how to take down this threat. And currently, as Ben talks about how they can overpower Kaine's healing factor because of his cells being less potent with it, there is actually Jessica. She goes to walk directly into the house and see. Oh god, there's more of them. Now, currently, Jessica doesn't go to walk over, asking if the real one can stand up. Deku actually doesn't turn and look around, as all the clones stare at each other. And Deku, he actually doesn't stand. I'm gonna tell her, you know, they are real. You know what I meant. We need to talk outside. Okay. What is it? This being when the two do go to walk outside. And right now, there actually is Jessica. She goes to try and tell him. There's been an incident with S.H.I.E.L.D. Does he know that they found another clone? No. What the hell? Okay. Does he have a half melted face? What? No. I'm sorry. Half melted face? Yeah. You know, kind of like cheese off of a pizza a bit, I guess. Gross. No, no. The scorpion. And what's this about a clone? Apparently, there's a mentally insane version of myself running around the city, and we need to try and find him and stop him. Of course, there is. Make coffee. I did. We were all talking about how to take him down. Okay, well, perfect then. There's a lot of us, and only one of him. It's more than that. He, he's dying, and he's doing one of two things. And that would be he's either trying to stop his cells from dying because of his healing factor. Apparently, from what I've been told, he's only alive because of my regeneration, the way my body heals fast and quicker. If he didn't have that, he would have been died within a week. They've been alive for over a month, and that tells me quite a bit. Along with that, I think there's another thing that he's trying to do, and that would be he's trying to revive Himiko Toga. Oh my god. He's already gotten to her grave. Izuku. Oh my god. Um, I'll have Shield monitor it. And in case anything does happen, he can't go back there. I know. Listen, we're trying to figure this all out, and it's just, it sounds like a lot. You sound like you're mad, so just don't tell me to calm down right now, Jessica. He just dug up my ex girlfriend, and he plans to try and bring her back from the I'm sorry. My head is confused and swimming right now, okay? Izuku, are you calm? No, I'm very far away from calm. If she's been cloned and she's alive again, what does that mean? It's not her. I I know, but it's just the clones might break down. There's got to be a way to stabilize them. I mean, Julie is stabilized from what they've said, but we don't know how far that stability does go, or if she'll even begin to break down. Ben says he's stable right now, but he's not looking at a long shelf life. None of them are. So they're all just gonna die. I don't know. I was hoping that Shield might be able to help out. Maybe do something. Maybe help them. Help me with this. Izuku, I am here if you do need to chat. I got that, but I just come inside. I'm gonna turn and walk in. And currently all the clones, they're trying to at least speculate a ton of things. Where he might be, where Kaine would go. If you were a mentally unstable person who had superpowers and plans to try and bring someone back from the dead, where's the best place to hide? Plain sight? A lab would be needed. Energy would be needed. So, they need to at least try and look for Kaine, find him, and see exactly what's going on. Now, right now, Jessica, she does try to help. And the spider people, or the spider family as I'll just call it for right now, they head out. We actually do cut over to Kaine. Kaine, he felt terrible about what happened. He failed to save Toga, the real him. But that doesn't matter right now. He brought her back. Right now, that on Kaine's mind. And Toga, currently she just don't lay there. Her actually somewhat blinking herself awake and going to somewhat sit up slowly. Her hand on her head. Her head is swimming and there's a lot going through her own mind. Some of the last things she does remember. The last thing she remembers clearly. She just remembers leaving Izuku's lab and going down the street and then the lizard. Izuku, Spiderman. Her, so I'm gonna look around. And Deku, he does something to sit there, facing away from Toga. Gonna slightly turn and give her a bit of a smile. Her seeing the clear half of his face. Izuku, oh my god, where's the lizard? Everything. Izuku, you're fine, Toga. You're okay. Just take things slow. Izuku, why can't I remember? Why can't I remember anything? No. Toga does bring her hands up to her head. Her gonna somewhat panic. She can remember a few years, but that's it. She remembers being a little kid and then somewhere around being a teenager and then now, but these gaps, these gaps in time, they're too large, too massive to explain away. And it's just confusing her. Something is wrong with her head, and she thinks that the lizard may have done something to her. As the only logical explanation as to why the hell she's in a lab and why Izuku is doing something to her, experimenting on her, trying to save her, fix her, whatever is wrong with her head, he's got to have an answer to it, right? And Deku does somewhat sit there. As Toga, she does talk about how she's missing time. And Deku, he actually sort of fully turned to her. Her seeing the side of his face that is partially melted. And his blind eye. As Kaine talks about it. He's so sorry. Izuku, your face. Toga, it's a lot to explain. I brought you back. You're okay now. You're okay. We can be together. I can give up being Spider-Man. We'll be fine. We'll be okay. Just we have to leave now, Toga, before they get here. Before who? Izuku, you don't look okay. Are you fine? Your face. What? Did he do that to you? Now, Kaine is going to stand up. I'm going to walk over, telling Toga, he's fine, but he just needs to help her more and fix her head. Then he'll fix his, and then they can get out of here, and then they can leave. Then things will be okay. Then things will be all fine. Now, Toga, she doesn't want to try to resist, but Deku, he's a bit more adamant. Him going to bring something up and injecting her directly in the arm before Toga is going to pass out. Now, Kaine, he currently does a walk back over to a computer. Him going to type away a few more things and trying to analyze it a bit more. The DNA was degraded, but it didn't work. He tried to put as much of it back together as he could, but there's a problem. Genetic memory. He remembers a few things from the original counterpart of himself. No, himself. Himself. He remembers a lot from him, but then there's also what he remembers for himself. It's different. The information, it does vary. He is missing time as well, but Toga missing it is bad. He can handle that. But his original counterpart, he needs to one day get him and get a sample of his DNA. If he can do that, he could fix himself. Or maybe try and take over that version of himself's body. Take over the original and become him. Become the original Spider-Man. And then things will be okay, right? Now, Kaine is typing away. And currently the Spider family, they found him. Things were definitely intriguing. But Deku, he remembers one day that he found Otto at this building. And that wasn't far off after he shot him with a tracker. He eventually got back in a range and found it. But Otto, by the time he arrived, he already cleared the entire lab. Now, right now, a few things start to happen. There is only one very, very clear way to take out Kaine. Kaine is a clone made to be smarter, made to be stronger, made to be better. The original clone Otto is going to be putting his mind into. Now, the Spider family, they have one solution to this problem of a crazy Spider-Man. They jump him. Now, right now Jessica Drew and the clones, Tarantula, Julia, Ben, and well, Deku. Yeah, there we go. Now, currently they all start to jump Deku. They all start to jump the clone of Deku. Now, there we go. Jesus Christ, this is confusing me. Anyways, currently Kaine, he's ambushed. Tarantula, he comes in. Him being able to try and web up this counterpart fast. As the other two, they rush forwards. Right now Julia comes in. Her going to smash the clone across the face, as Ben, he himself just try to wrap up and make sure his legs can't get anywhere. And Tarantula, he just does keep spinning. Jessica, she's rushing forwards and bring her hands out. Her grabbing onto Kaine and going to shock him with a taser web. As currently, Kaine is brought down. Now, Deku, he actually isn't going to stand there. Him staring at the copy of Toga. As whenever Kaine is subdued by everybody very quickly, everyone, they do someone going to walk over and join him. Him staying there and seeing her. You can hear her breath. I'm going to walk over and bring his hand out, grabbing onto her wrist. She's alive. It's a heartbeat. And Jesus, it's not her. That on his mind, I'm going to turn and quietly walk over to the computer. Him going to start typing away at it as Kaine yells, "Not to touch his research! He's so close, he could have brought her back, made her better. She could be just like them." Now, Deku doesn't say a word. Him is also typing away. He can see a few flaws. He can see a mistake. He can see that this copy hasn't thought everything through. He wants to try and make her a Spider-Woman. Make her super like them. But The bite that made him Spider-Man was an accident. And Jessica was some sort of serum and trying to give her powers based on Spider-Man, a few things can go wrong. Yes, the healing factor could prolong her life, but so could some genetic editing. I mean, make them more stable and make them more human. That's the current idea. And Deku, he does at least try and look at he does try to at least look over a few more things. As Kaine, he keeps yelling, and Jessica, she just gonna head out. Her swinging up to the ceiling and gonna crawl through a window, since she does need to make a phone call to Shield, and they are currently on their way. They have a few clones already to deal with. They've dealt with one, and another crazy one. Hey, they can make a containment cell. But a clone of Himiko Toga. That's definitely interesting. The clones were illegal to make, and currently whenever Shield does touch down to the roof, Deku and a few of his clones do make their way up to the roof. As Kaine, he does still somewhat lay there, subdued and stuck to the ground. As Tarantula, he does not stand there. Him going to look at a few more things on the computer. The research data, and all of it. As currently Deku, him and the copies, they make their way up. Deku currently holding onto Toga. As Nick Fury, he made his presence known. Him stepping down and talking about it. Well, if this isn't a shit show waiting to happen. They got real lucky on this. He should be aware. Shield has tried to keep clean with his messes, but this definitely has affected a lot. So, what are they exactly going to do with the clones then? Dispose of them? I mean, let them live out their lives? What does he suggest? What does Spider-Man think they should do? Because already they shouldn't exist. And Deku, he doesn't want to yell at Fury. Shut the hell up! And right now the copies go to watch. Deku's stepping forwards. Right now he's carrying his dead ex-girlfriend. So Nick Fury needs to shut the hell up and realize something. The clones didn't ask to be made. They were made by Otto Octavius. If he wants to blame somebody, blame that insane lunatic. Now, what they're going to do is, he is going to take Toga into Shield custody. Him and his clones are going to work together to try and find a way to stabilize all of them. Try and find a way to fix Kaine. Because he clearly is unwell. He clearly is insane. He clearly is a madman. If he is left to his own devices, Kaine will kill. And Spider-Man will be seen as a murderer. They don't know how much damage Kaine can cause. So, how about they handle the clones before they handle any more pointing of fingers and screaming? Now, Fury doesn't want to stare at Deku. And Deku, he does stand there narrowing his eyes, as Fury, he does see the way Deku's mask reacts. And he does want to turn, informing everybody about what to currently do. As S.H.I.E.L.D., they make their way downstairs. And Deku, he does set down the copy of Toga. Her actually not going to open her eyes and see Deku. Her panicking a bit. Her at least going to mention that Izuku, he was injured. And Deku, he was going to bring his hands up, grabbing onto Toga's. Hey, listen, it's complicated, but him pulling his mask up and showing his whole face. It's me, Toga. Izuku, your face. Her bring her hand up. And Deku, he actually is someone going to lean in to the warmth of her hand. She's not real. She's just an imitation, a fake, a copy. She's not real. As much as you want her to be. That on Deku's mind. As right now, Deku, he is going to tell Toga. It's a lot to explain. He'll explain it, but right now, they have a situation to deal with. The crazy copy of himself. I'm going to turn and walk away. And there actually is back down in the warehouse. S.H.I.E.L.D., they couldn't find that copy. But they did find a body. Tarantula was murdered. And yeah, it doesn't look too good. And Deku is going to see the crime scene. Tarantula tried to fight for his life. The computer was busted. His neck was snapped, and his arms. Some of them were ripped off. But most importantly, his mouth. Kaine webbed his mouth shut, stuffed it full of webs so he couldn't breathe. Whatever happened, it was fast. He waited for them to. Kaine is intelligent. Right, he still is a Kumadoria. Now, with that being said, right now Kaine, he killed one of his own copies. One of his siblings, quote unquote. Now, that is very bad. With Tarantula dead, they only have a few more members of the Spider family left. And Deku, he does at least go with S.H.I.E.L.D. to figure out how to deal with the situation. And Deku, he sat down and talked to Toga. Toga was alarmed to find out that she was essentially a fake, that she was a clone of a dead woman. And that tripped her out a lot. It made her think about what exactly she is, what she can do. And, well, especially with the fact that she might be dying, it does say quite a bit. Deku is being haunted by a ghost. And Toga, she can see that. The way Deku looks at her, the way he's trying to talk to her, the way he's trying to be evasive and just not saying what he wants to do. Toga can tell. This is a wound for Izuku. And Deku, after he's going to walk out of that room, there is where he does going to actually go to a training facility. As Deku, he is currently in the training hall. Him going to throw around a lot of force, attacking some of the robots, and dodging out of the way of many of the simulations. As currently Julia and Ben, they make their way to the facility. They knew that they would find him here. They themselves talked to Toga for a bit. And it was especially trippy. Especially for Julia. She remembers being a guy up until about a month ago. And that's definitely weird. And her feelings for Toga, yeah, that's complicated at best. So there's definitely that. Now, Deku, he does continue to throw around his own force. As Ben and Julia, they try and stop Deku to talk. And Deku, yeah, the two join in. Right now the Spider family, they start a match. And S.H.I.E.L.D., they just have to somewhat sit back and watch. It's excellent data, but it's also somewhat scary. These three are throwing around angry amounts of force. And that, aboard a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, does take quite a bit. But currently they have a plan. Someone, they have a lot going through their own mind. And, well, right now we do cut to a cell, where someone, they go to smile. All according to plan. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And to have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.